So what we've got here is the fourth instalment of Arran's Explorer series. It was a series that they've set up to sort of honour the certain landmarks on the Isle of Arran. This one here is called Drumadoon Point, which I believe is on the west coast of the island. The front of the label depicts a lovely golf course set against a really dramatic backdrop. Beautiful stuff. I hope the whiskey on the inside is reflective of that. Have you got any first thoughts on Arran?
Yeah, so obviously Arran being a more modern distillery, quite recently established, a lot of the whiskies we know are of a younger age statement. So this is a 23-year-old. They're far and few between Arrans of that sort of age. So I'm looking forward to giving it a try. Haven't had it before and seeing what it's like with a bit more maturity.
Excellent. Let's not hesitate. Let's get it open and give it a try.
Thank you. First impressions?
It's not the palest whiskey I've ever seen, but it's probably one of the paler whiskies I've seen at this sort of age.
Yeah.
Not that that's, it's never a bad thing, but I just think that maybe suggests predominantly bourbon matured or potentially refill sherry.
Yeah. Certainly, yeah, my first thought was it's not quite straw gold, but it's certainly not a very deep, lustrous colour. So
yeah,
thinking less active cask influence.
Yeah, potentially. Let's dive in and find out. It's taking a while to sort of reveal itself, which is sometimes a testament of a whiskey that's been maturing for this long. It's kind of vanilla-y, it's making me think of maybe it's the power of suggestion with a coastal scene on the label there, but it's making me think of like ice cream cone 99.
Yeah, and I think there's as you say, vanilla, but also possibly a little bit of cloves and drying sort of, I don't want to say anise, but maybe nutmeg.
Yeah, there is a sort of underlying spiciness to it. Mm-hmm. Let's see what it tastes like.
Yeah, how strong is that? 49.5%. So it's reasonably firm, but on the palate I think it's very soft, very easy drinking. I'm getting more of those soft vanilla notes, maybe a bit of possibly a bit of like baked apple in there.
Yeah, there is like an underlying, I was about to say like stewed fruits, whether that's like canned peaches decanted into a pan, but it's there is like you're right, stewed fruits. Again, the thing I was drawn to with this is the body of it. It coats your mouth, which you often get with like an older whiskey, which I just always find delightful. It sort of adds a extra layer to the experience.
And whilst we've been talking about the fruit characters of it, I do think overall it's actually remarkably dry. It doesn't come across as a extremely fruity, sweet, cloying experience. It's actually more slightly tannic. As I say, yeah, it leaves your palate feeling a bit puckered, and it's like a nice glass of red wine or something. It leaves your mouth.
Does it leave you wanting more, or or is one enough? That's
I think it'd take a bit of water. Clean the palate.
So I'm still getting that nice soft vanilla element to it. It's still making me think of vanilla ice cream. I just can't get that out of my head. There's maybe like a honeycomb kind of nature to it. So
Yeah.
maybe like vanilla ice cream with honeycomb, if such a thing
Yeah,
exists. It would be
it
delicious.
does.
Yeah.
I used to work at an ice cream shop and they made it. It was called Pooh Bear, and it was delicious. One of my favourite flavours.
I think the spiciness and the sort of tannic nature you mentioned, I think for me that comes through more with the water than without. Yeah, I'm finding it very dry. There is a slight acidity to it now for me.
It's not as soft as I was expecting it to be after water. I think it's opened the nose up. I do get more from it since I've added water. I'm not finding it's a huge shift in the flavour profile, but certain aromatics, like as you say, the vanillas are more prominent. I think the drier, spicier characteristics have receded on the nose, but then in the palate, yeah, it's incredibly drying.
Yeah, they're
and
definitely still there after adding water. Yeah, it's but by no means unpleasant though. I know it sounds a bit negative when we were singing its praises earlier, but it's still a very nice dram. Maybe not the first whiskey I would recommend to someone if they're new to whiskey, but definitely certainly something worth checking out.
Definitely shows that Arran can produce excellent whiskey at an older age statement. So
yeah, absolutely.